It's time to get ready for the biggest sales week of the year for most Etsy sellers, and that is from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. If you aren't from the US or you're not familiar, Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving here in the US is November 24th, and sales really do start to pop off that day as well. And then Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, which is November 25th, is one of the biggest shopping days of the entire year in the United States. In 2021, 88 million Americans shopped online on Black Friday, so it's a good idea to get prepared for this holiday so you can get a piece of that pie. And then Cyber Monday, the Monday after Thanksgiving, is also a huge online shopping day. So it's just a jam-packed sales weekend to get ready for. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what I sold in those 5 days last year, just to give you a little fun inspiration. I'll even share my top 5 search terms that I had in my store for that week, so you can make sure you have these search terms in your store. And I'll share how to make sure that you're meeting Etsy's sale requirements to show up in their holiday shop. So let's go ahead and jump right in. But now would be a great time to take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you've been getting value from my videos so far. So let's take a look at my sales for those 5 days last year. So I started on Thanksgiving, November 24th, all the way until Cyber Monday, November 29th. In that time, I sold 728 orders for a total revenue of $26,488. So for reference, if you haven't watched my income and expense reports that I've done in the past, this was the month that I sold $100,000 was the month of November last year. So over 25% of my sales were made in this 5-day stretch right here. So pretty huge deal. I was getting anywhere from 94 orders to 140 orders per day. So if you haven't sold as much as you'd want so far here in November, don't worry, because a lot of your sales are going to come in the second 2 weeks of the month, and the first 10 days of December are super crazy sales times as well. So just keep chugging along, and I've got a few tips for you on why I think I was successful with Christmas last year, so I'll share those with you now. So tip number 1 is that I prepared really early for Christmas sales. So I started designing in September, and I kept designing all the way until Black Friday. Now, if you're watching this when I release it in November, I know that doesn't sound super helpful, but I wanted to share this tip so that way you're not late for the next holiday that comes up, like Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and so on. So you do want to make sure that you're making designs and listing things 2 to 3 months before the actual holiday to try and catch some of those early holiday sales and be at the top of the search results when the masses come to start shopping. Now, if you're new to print on demand and you're not sure when to start designing for things or what holidays people even buy t-shirts for, then I do have my print on demand calendar down in the description available right now. It has over 40 different niches to design for all throughout the year and when to start designing for them to make it nice and simple for you to be early to the holidays next time. My second tip is that I doubled down on the niches that sold really well for me. So if you start getting quite a few sales for a certain niche, like let's say a Christmas themed teacher shirt, then I would go ahead and add that to multiple colors and make more versions of it. That way, if someone's looking to buy multiples, you have what they're looking for. Tip number 3 I talk about a lot on this channel, and that is I sold a lot of group shirts. So if you make sure to focus on things that people can buy multiples of, you can make a lot more sales. So things like couple shirts, mommy and me shirts, or full matching family shirts are the way to go when it comes to holidays. If you're not sure how to sell print-on-demand group shirts with Printify, then I will go ahead and link that tutorial down in the description below. And lastly, for tip number 4, I tried to focus mainly on more niched down designs. So instead of selling things like Merry Christmas or Merry and Bright that people could be buying at Walmart or Target if they wanted, I tried to focus on more specific things like Teacher Plus Christmas or Cat Plus Christmas. This is where a lot of the money is with Christmas time. People have a lot of things that they're really passionate about, like their job, who they are, what types of hobbies that they have, their animals, and people love to have unique and funny Christmas sweaters to wear for the Christmas season. So if you want to be successful this holiday season, don't feel like it's too late. You can go take a look at what the best sellers are right now in Christmas and just ignore a lot of those more generic ones and look for the more specific designs and see where you can join into the market and try and be early to those trends. You can also try and mix different trends that you've had success with throughout the year with Christmas to try and make up the trend yourself. So I pulled up my top search terms for those 5 days last year, just so you can get a really good idea of what some popular keywords are going to be this year as well, to make sure you have them included in your titles and tags. So here you can see my top search term for those 5 days was actually holiday apparel. But before you go and run and add this to all your listings, I want you to understand where that actual term came from. So I'll show you where that comes up and why I came up so many times in that search result. And it may be different this year. Etsy actually chooses different keywords to actually sort the search results for Christmas by in their holiday shop. So we won't know what the keyword term you want to have included in your listings is until November 18th, and I'll show you that in a little bit as well. But the next top keyword I had for you was ugly Christmas sweater women funny and ugly Christmas sweater. I know a lot of people think you should avoid search terms like this since there is so much competition, but as you can see, I was coming up in those search results even though I'm not the biggest shop on Etsy, and you can show up in these search results too. So don't be afraid to include things like ugly Christmas sweater in your titles and tags. That way you can come up in those search terms as well. A couple other really popular search terms they had that week was ugly Christmas sweater women, Christmas sweater, and funny Christmas sweater. So I did black out a couple of them that I have specific niches tied to, since this is still how I pay the bills for my family, but I wanted to share there's more generic ones with you so you can make sure to be using them in your store as well. So every year, Etsy creates a holiday sales event page. So right now, as I'm recording this in the middle of November, they're currently running their pre-holiday sale, which runs until November 17th. On the 18th is when they're going to switch to their Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals, which is when this will actually change and be relevant for what we're looking at for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But I wanted you to be able to see what I'm talking about, to know what search terms to add to your listings if you don't already have them. So when you click on, say, the holiday sales event, you can go ahead and click something like clothing sales, and here you're going to see in the actual search bar, it auto-populated the word clothes. So that means that Etsy chose this as the search criteria. So clothes, and then they turned on filters, clothing that's on sale. So the only people showing up in this category right now are people who have the words clothing, which you do if you have the word t-shirts for your category, and if your items are actually on sale. So pay attention to what this search bar says when Etsy runs certain sales like this. That way you can make sure that you're showing up in those categories. So last year, like I said, in that search bar where it said clothes, that's where it said holiday apparel last year. So that's why I had so many searches for holiday apparel in my search results. So that may be the keyword for this year again as well, but you want to make sure to check on November 18th and see what it actually says. So how do you make sure that you show up for the sales event, since it is only on sale clothing items that are going to be shown? Etsy's holiday sales event is going from November 18th until November 30th, and they're going to be highlighting stores that have 20% off or more in their store. So you want to make sure to run at least a 20% off sale in your store. Now, if your profit margins don't allow for that, it may be time to raise your prices. And I did just do a video last week on how to bulk raise your prices within Etsy to make it simpler for you. So I'll link that video down below as well. And this sale does need to be a shop-wide sale. All your items do need to be 20% off for you to show up in the holiday sales event. So let's show you really quick a practical way to make sure that you're ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday by having trending products in your store. So you're going to go over to Etsy and type in something generic like Christmas shirts, ugly Christmas sweaters, or Christmas, and you want to go over to this All Filters button here and sort by best sellers. So if you sort by the best sellers, you're going to see there's almost 10,000 results under Christmas shirts for best sellers right now. So again, you want to go through these results and you want to try and avoid things like Merry Christmas or Holly Jolly, and try and find the more specific niches that you can design for that are currently trending and selling well on Etsy right now. And if you pay attention to this every single day from here until Black Friday, you should really find some great options to add to your store that are getting tons of searches and purchases right now, which is why they have that bestseller badge. But make sure that you're not copying, that you're making unique designs that are going to stand out and get you those sales. So make sure to stay tuned and subscribe, because if you're feeling discouraged and not sure how to make best-selling Christmas designs, later this week I will be releasing a video on how to really easily and simply make gorgeous best-selling Christmas designs for your store. So again, subscribe now and stay tuned for that video. But I do hope that this tutorial was helpful for you today in getting ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And as always, thank you so much for staying until the end, and I'll see you in the next one.